Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Dark Jack, and in this gameplay, I'm playing on the map Turbine, and I go 45-1. And in this gameplay, I'm not going to talk about the game itself. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm using the FAL with Target Finder and Quick Draw, which is an extremely cheap setup. And I wish Trek would just take the Target Finder out of the game, but on maps like Turbine, it's so useful that I almost always use it because of all the snipers that like to camp in the rocks and on the bridge. Now, what I'm going to talk about in this gameplay is the 4 stages of a Call of Duty player, or the 4 different types of Call of Duty players that you will run into when you play. And so the 4 kinds of players, from the least experienced to the most experienced, are the noob rusher, the noob camper, the smart camper, and the smart rusher, in that order. Now, when someone first starts playing Call of Duty, they're not very good at it, so they are a noob rusher. They are the baby buffalo of Call of Duty. They run around the map aimlessly like a chicken with its head cut off, like El Presidor. If you ever watched one of his videos, he is the definition of a baby buffalo, or a noob rusher, someone that tries to imitate the style of the Call of Duty players you see on YouTube, not realizing that everyone that they're playing against is a complete noob that lacks opposable thumbs. But someone who's a noob rusher doesn't know what they're doing. They have bad gun skill, they don't know how to use a controller, or they don't know how to hold it correctly, and so they're really bad at the game. They're new to Call of Duty, and everyone who has played Call of Duty at one time was a noob rusher. So I at one time was not very good at Call of Duty. I didn't know what I was doing, and so I just fed the enemy team kill streaks. But after a while, if the noob rusher keeps playing Call of Duty, eventually a noob rusher becomes a noob camper. So they learn that, running around the map and trying to do well, that just doesn't work out too well. So what they do is they'll just become a camper. They'll stay in one spot of the maps, and they won't move around. They'll just camp and hide. They'll sit in corners, or they'll just lay down prone in doorways. And these are the players in the first Black Ops game who would put on Ghost, who would sit in corners, who would use Ghost Silence Galil with Hacker Pro with motion sensors. These are the noob campers. They don't know what they're doing. They're not very good at camping, and so they choose to use stealth perks because they learn over time that sitting in a doorway doesn't work very well if you're not using the stealth perk. Whether it's UAV jammer or camouflage or cold-blooded or assassin or ghost, whatever you want to call it. That strategy does not work unless they use a stealth perk, because people can still see them on the UAV, so they have to jump on them when they're sitting in a corner. So these are the noob campers that everyone loves to hate on. And the reason why they play this way is because they do better this way than running around, because they don't have very good gun skill. So because their gun skill is not very good, they have to have the element of surprise over the enemy. So that's why they use Ghost and silencers in camp. Then the third stage of a Call of Duty player, and not every Call of Duty player reaches these stages. Some players never advance beyond the first stage. But the third stage is a smart camper, because eventually the noob camper, if they play enough Call of Duty, if they stick with it long enough, and they watch enough Wings of Redemption videos, they will become a smarter camper. So rather than just staying in one spot of the map, they'll move around, and they'll move from cover to cover. And so they'll stay in one corner of a room, they'll kill an enemy, and then they'll move to the other corner when that person comes back for their revenge kill, and then they'll just kill them that way. They'll become better at camping, and so they'll be able to get the high kill streaks if they camp hard enough. So in this gameplay, I was camping pretty hard to get my kill streaks, and once I got them, I was able to get a ton of kills and help my team out with the VSAT. But camping is not always the best option. Usually you want to have a combination of camping and rushing. And so the noob camper, if they play long enough, eventually they'll become a smart camper, and then they'll become a smart rusher. Because eventually, if they play long enough, a smart camper, if they apply themselves and if they learn to run around the map and not sit in corners, they'll become better, and their gun skill will improve over time as they play more Call of Duty, and they'll be able to become a smart camper if they stick with it, if they watch enough YouTube videos, and if they get into a lobby of people who are not very good. Because you don't have to sit in a corner, you don't have to always be behind cover to do well in this game. You can do well in this game on a consistent basis while moving around the map if you play smart, if you use cover to your advantage, if you stick to the perimeter of the maps, and if you're an overall smart player who plays with other people who are smart. So I call this the smart rusher, because they can rush. These are the people that you see on YouTube who get 100+ gameplays. These are the people that we call tryhards, or people who are just really good at the game. So these people can hold a high kill-death ratio and a high win-loss ratio, while at the same time they can be rushing and they can be aggressive, And it's always more fun to be aggressive and to rush around with an SMG or a shotgun than it is to camp in a corner. Even if camping in a corner is better for your KD and win-loss. But most of the time it's just better for your KD and not for your win-loss, because you can't really win games sitting in corners. If you want to win a game, you have to be aggressive and you have to play the objective and you have to go all out. So the best Call of Duty players can combine the best elements of camping and rushing. They don't just stick to one playstyle. You have to adapt your playstyle to the people that you're playing against. If you're playing against good players, you have to adopt a more defensive playstyle. If you're playing against really bad players, you can be more aggressive and you can rush because you know that you have better gun skill than them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.